Greetings everybody, I am Winnie Wriggle and welcome back to All the Mods 9 To the Sky. Today, I have one issue to address and one thing that we need. Here is the first issue. We have all of these beautiful ores. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to stand around with a pickaxe and hand mine them in order to get the raw ore from them and then put them in a furnace and wait for them to smelt. No, we're modded. Let's automate that stuff. So we have a couple of options for how to do that. And one of the options I found was the mechanical squeezer, which gives us not only one raw iron, but a chance to get 2 more. Triple our return on investment. That sounds good to me. But why stop there? We could take that raw iron ore and put it in an enrichment chamber and get 4 iron dust in exchange. Now we have 4 times the return on our investment. Then of course the next thing we want to be able to do is turn that iron dust into iron ingots. And I thought we could at least dip our toes into thermal expansion and make ourselves a redstone furnace. And that's really the beauty of modded Minecraft to me, is the ability to take multiple mods and have them work together to solve a problem. That sounds fun, doesn't it? We'll just throw together a squeezer and then an enrichment chamber and then a redstone furnace and we'll be done. Right? Nope. Guess what I don't have? Don't have any mineral saplings. And we need mineral saplings in order to make the mechanical squeezer. This is my sad face, can you tell? But it's really not that sad. So, how do we get a mineral sapling? Well, it's very easy. We can sieve moss. Yep. Moss. The good news is the trader came by and I bought 4 blocks of moss from him. Why is that good news, you say? We're not going to be able to get a sapling with a 10% chance and 4 blocks of moss, Winnie. I know, statistically, that's against us. That's why we're going to get into yet another mod, Xycraft specifically, and we're going to use that moss to generate more moss. So we're going to make the extractor from Xycraft because it has wonderful recipes. We can generate things like amethyst and andesite and chorus fruit and moss. All we have to do is set it down on top of a stone block, which is sitting on top of a bone block, and then surround it with 4 moss blocks, and it will magically give us a bunch of moss, and we can use that to sieve to get our mineral sapling, right? Sounds great. Yeah, except guess what? In order to make the Xycraft extractor, we're going to need something called Kiwi. So it's back to thermal expansion we go. The good news is we can make it an igneous extruder, and the little igneous extruder is one of the ways we can get Kiwi, which is a key block for the Xycraft mod. So all we need for that is to make the igneous extruder, put it on top of a block of obsidian, and then put some water and some lava in the world next to it. So we have a little bit of crafting to do today. Let me gather all of our things, and let's start with our igneous extruder. So we need Constantine, which is just another ore. And if we take a look at the recipe, we can just use nickel dust and copper dust to get Constantine. And so I think if we take the copper with our hammer and we take some nickel, and if we put our copper and our nickel, we get Constantine. So let's throw that in the furnace and then grab them out of our chest. And to make our Constantine gear, what else do we need? We need to make a redstone servo. That's pretty easy. And now we need Invar. And Invar is also easy. It's just iron dust and nickel dust. So we'll smash up a little iron and a little nickel dust. We do the iron and the nickel and we get some Invar. And now we'll throw that in the furnace. Okay, now that we have our Invar, our piston, our glass, our Constantine gear, we can make an igneous extruder. Ta-da! Igneous extruder making Kiwi. It's like it knows. So we need 1 obsidian, a bucket of water, a bucket of lava, and probably a safe place to do this. Okay, I've made a little stone cubby, so we'll put our obsidian down the igneous extruder, put our water and our lava, and it should automatically start making Kiwi. Yay! And this will come in handy for other things as well. So let's take a few of the Kiwi and come back up here and make our extractor. 1 extractor. So it needs Kiwi, which we have. We need 4 aluminum ingots, a piston, pointed dripstone, and something called an item or a fluid port. I think we're going to go item port because it's just a gold nugget and a chest. Super easy. And there is the extractor. Okay, now we need to make a setup where the extractor can help us. And let's look at the recipe one more time. We need to set the extractor on top of a piece of stone, which is on top of a bone block. And then around the stone, we need to put the moss. And I believe since none of the blocks move anywhere, we can do this kind of up in the air. So we'll put the bone and the stone And the moss on 4 sides. And the extractor. And then I think all we need to do is stick a chest on top. Look, we're getting moss. That's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna wait around a while and get some moss made, and then I'll sift it and hopefully get a mineral sapling. We interrupt you to bring this message that I looked up how to make time in a bottle, and we need netherite ingots. That's on the list for resources for next episode. Okay, we've got almost 40 blocks of moss. Let's grab those and run over to our diamond mesh and see if we can get a mineral sapling. Ta-da! Oh goodness, there's all kinds of things. Oh, I saw blue. We got 5. We only needed 1. Thank you, game. You know, we got all kinds of other stuff too. We got jungle saplings, cherry saplings, flashing archwood, spruce, dark oak, edelwood, glowberries, spore blossoms, drip leaf, mango, acacia. I have so many trees. We're gonna build all the things. But before we do that, let's go plant this. Will you fit up here? I don't think you'll grow up there. Let's go down to our convenient grass field and plant a few of these and get to twerking. Grow, 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 grow. Nice. So in order to make the squeezer, we're gonna need this wood and the things that we can get from it. In order to make the mechanical squeezer, first we have to make a regular squeezer. Okay, 1 regular squeezer, it's just a block of iron, some iron ingots, some sticks, and planks. And there we have our squeezer. In order for this to be useful to us, we're also going to need to make the drying basin. And that's just a couple of black dye, some iron ingots, and some logs. There we have a drying basin. So combining this squeezer with the drying basin gives us access to one of the primary crafting ingredients in integrated dynamics. So I want to make sure that my squeezer, the little line that's here, is pointing towards the drying basin. And I want to have a button handy to reset it. And all we're going to do is put one of our blue mineral logs in there and then hop up on it and jump up and down. And it squeezes out the mineral into the drying basin. And after a second, it dries into a block of crystallized mineral. Now we do need about 1/4 of a stack of these to get started with this mod. So it's time to get to jumping. Press the button to reset, set the log in, hop up on it and jump up and down. And you don't have to wait for that to dry before you do the next one. It'll just hold it in its reservoir. Okay, I'm going to get about 1/2 a stack of this because it'll serve us well in the future. And then I'll be back. Boingy, 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 boingy. Okay, I think this is the last couple that we need to do. That should give us 18, which is plenty. There we go. Now let's make our mechanical squeezer, which requires 1 obsidian, 1 diamond, and 2 energy batteries. Those energy batteries are just blocks of redstone and some of the crystallized mineral, both as a block and chunks. So 1, 2 batteries, and of course the squeezer that we're going to turn into an automatic squeezer. Yay, mechanical squeezer! Woohoo! Okay, this is the first block on the road to automating our ore processing. Next up, the enrichment chamber. So this one requires one of the crafting mechanisms from Mekanism, and that is a basic control circuit. I don't know if we've made these before, but you basically take redstone in a metallurgic infuser and you infuse it into osmium ingots. And so I've gone ahead and put some osmium in our metallurgic infuser, and we have 8 basic control circuits. So then if we make a steel casing with some glass and steel and osmium, we can make our enrichment chamber. Dun dun dun. Step 2. So this is going to turn those raw iron into iron dust. And now we just want to take that iron dust and smelt it into iron ingots, which is useful. And to do that, we're going to make a redstone furnace. So we just need to make a couple of copper gears. 1, 2. A redstone flux coil. A machine frame, which is iron and glass, but with a tin gear. So there's our machine frame. And we just make a redstone furnace. 1, 2, 3 steps. So I just grabbed some energy pipes and some item pipes and all of our iron ore. And yes, we will be applying this to all of the other ore as well. I'm just using iron as the example. We take it down here to our power. The mechanical squeezer is a little less sophisticated than its cousins that it's working with. So we're gonna wanna raise it up a tiny bit because it's gonna need an item pipe on the top and an item pipe on the bottom. It inputs on the top and extracts from the bottom. So in order to avoid confusing it, we're gonna keep with that convention. So we'll put our barrel up on the top. We'll use our wrench to shift right click and tell the pipe that we're pulling from the barrel to the mechanical squeezer. We're going to need to do the same thing on the bottom, saying we're going to pull the output out of the bottom of the mechanical squeezer and send it to the enrichment chamber. And hopefully if we tell the enrichment chamber that there is an input on the left, yes, now it connects up and it should take whatever is given to it by the mechanical squeezer, hopefully only the raw iron chunks. Now we're also going to tell the enrichment chamber that on the right, we want it to be output. And I'm going to go ahead and just use an item pipe to do this just to demonstrate. So it'll be pulling items from the enrichment chamber into the redstone furnace. And on the redstone furnace, we want to make sure under the configuration tab that auto input is enabled, not disabled, and that the left side is set to blue, which is input, right? So auto input enabled and the left side of this little diagram is blue. And you can see that the space where things are cooked is also highlighted blue. And because we set everything next to the power cable, they all have power. Now the test is if I stick an iron ore in here, yes, we get 3 raw iron. They go into the enrichment chamber to be further ground up into iron dust. And hopefully the iron dust goes into the redstone furnace to be turned into iron. Perfect. Now let's tell the redstone furnace, because it's pretty smart, that we want it to put all the stuff it's making out the top. So we want to make sure auto output is enabled and that the orange is on the top. So it'll start putting all of the processed ingots on the top. And that is how we automate our ores. It's not very elegant or compact, but I hope it makes sense. And it also is a good illustration of how you can use multiple mods and take advantage of their inputs and outputs in order to maximize what you get out of your materials, especially in a mod pack. So I'll probably move this to a more convenient location in order to process our ores, but that was my goal for the episode, was to get that taken care of. Next time, we're actually going to get into other resource generation using the extractor, now that we figured out how to do it. And this little guy right here is going to get us into the next realm of materials like netherrack and blackstone and all the fun things that we can sift for even more materials. But that's all I have time for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, please leave a like. It helps me out and I really appreciate it. In the meantime, remember, you are all the shiny stuff that awesome is made of. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.